Iyo, I have nothing but respect for you. And if that is what you want, then I just want you to know that I'm gonna stop at nothing to get this back.
Raw opened up with Rhea Ripley wondering what was next for her. Iyo Sky would interrupt and say she wants to face the best at Evolution as she chooses Rhea. Rhea goes ahead and says if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get.
So at Evolution, Rhea Ripley versus Iyo Sky for the Women's World Championship, you're on.
And despite people being mad about this, I am not. This match is going to deliver. Sure, Iyo could have faced Asuka or Stephanie Vaquer and that would have delivered too, but I feel like they're saving Iyo Asuka for SummerSlam or later on. You gotta remember, Evolution is just a midpoint between now and then. And let's be honest, Asuka versus Iyo deserves more of a build than a 2-week build. At least when it comes to Rhea Ripley versus Iyo Sky, they've already had the history between WrestleMania and now, and everything that happened before WrestleMania, so there's already a built-in story there. Also, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce announced a battle royal for Evolution, which will see the winner get a title match at Clash in Paris. So you could always have Stephanie Vaquer win that. Either way, I get why people are mad at Rhea being straight back into the title picture, but if I recall correctly, she wasn't pinned at Mania to lose the championship anyway. Meanwhile, backstage, Dominic Mysterio is confronted by Uncle Alan.
That if you lay a finger on me before I'm cleared, you'll never get your title match. Doctor's orders.
He shows off a signed document that proves he can't compete right now. AJ Styles says, yeah, right here, yeah, doctor says you're a punk ass. After you're cleared, I'm gonna take that title from you. Next, we had new tag champions as the Judgment Day beat the New Day.
Couldn't grab, but he hit his own partner. Disaster.
We also saw a sweet Spanish fly from JD McDonough.
Spanish fly from the top.
In the end, a tag into JD's moonsault and Finn Balor's coup de grace wins them the gold. The Judgment Day officially has a bunch of gold again, and honestly, I'm not mad about it.
McDonough hits the moonsault. Now it's Balor's turn. Coup de grace. With our new tag team champions.
I love the New Day, but I feel like they had nowhere else to go. Until Big E is potentially cleared, and that may not ever happen, their story feels stuck in purgatory. They're heels because of what they did to someone who can never give them their comeuppance. Next, we saw Lyra Valkyria and Bayley arguing backstage over what happened last week.
Wow, okay, so you can't text me back, you won't talk to me, but you'll talk about me in interviews. That's really
Lyra,
where we're at now,
is this just what you're gonna do every week? Interrupt my business? Okay, look, if you're here to apologize, I don't want to hear it.
I was gonna apologize. I don't even know who you are anymore.
Adam Pearce storms in and says, enough. Bayley versus Lyra tonight, the winner will face Becky at Evolution. Then backstage, we see a goodbye to Chad Gable as he prepares for surgery. He says, Ivy, you need to conquer Stephanie Vaquer and keep the American-made spirit alive. And Brutus and Julian, set your focus on the tag team championships. There is a very shocking development with El Grande Americano and that whole conspiracy, but more on that momentarily. Meanwhile, Pearce and Aldis are really getting around because they're in another segment. Finn Balor and JD McDonough suggest Roxanne Perez as Raquel's new tag partner to hold the titles with her. Then both GMs devise a plan and say at Evolution, they're gonna have to defend the titles against teams from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Personally, I wish he would have gone ahead and thrown TNA in there just to mix things up, but alas. And given what they're building over there with the whole Allies of Convenience storyline with Charlotte and Alexa, I kind of feel like they may be in this match representing SmackDown. I feel like that's what they're gonna be doing on Evolution.
Wow, look at us, on the same page.
For now.
Dare I say, this year Survivor Series War Games may have a brand versus brand feel to it again. They've certainly been teasing it for some time. I do feel like an Under Siege kind of storyline would work well. Maybe continue building the tension and then Pearce says, hey, I can run both these shows again. Back in the ring, we had a physical Rusev and Sheamus match as you'd expect. Sheamus was beating the bow runs off that boy and Rusev was locking in accolades. The thing with the Sheamus versus Rusev match is these boys are really hitting each other hard and they're really taking those bumps. That's just the style. Quite honestly, the definition of two big meaty men slapping meat.
Corner still hanging on.
Yeah, but Rusev hanging on and forces Sheamus to support all of his body weight.
Bro!
I also have to say in the early going they had a camera person on the apron which gave a closer look at the action. It was almost like a third person view of the wrestlers and I really liked that honestly.
Oh! Steal. And out. Oh! Rusev! Off the Mosca kick, picks up the win.
A sneaky poke in the eye and some other dastardly tactics lead to a big win for Rusev. Then, remember that shocking development that I mentioned earlier on?
Say it ain't so, cuz. Oh my gosh.
Can I get a reaction to whatever that was?
But if he's here and Chad's there, then who's flying the plane? And for those of you that were on the wrong side of history with this, is it just now clocking to you that we were right all along? Chad Gable and El Grande Americano were never the same person. But according to conspiracy theorists, that's Ludwig Kaiser under the mask now. You people sound insane, you're crazy. Then, backstage we see the crazed Karrion Kross attack Sami Zayn. I'm so happy that this feud isn't over yet. And now we're seeing a version of Karrion Kross that really should viciously go in there, get his lick back in the ring, and beat Sami Zayn clean. But I'd assume they'll blow it off at Saturday night's main event. Then, for as great as Gunther is, this promo he cut was basically just a repeat of the last one. He says he's gonna take Goldberg apart in front of his family, he's gonna dismantle him because Bill may not like bullies, but Gunther is the biggest bully around here. But where this promo differs is when he's confronted by Seth Rollins. Styling his fancy new custom Money in the Bank briefcase, he says he never went to Saudi Arabia to cash in. It was simply just to ensure that he stood on business of Punk never being champion again.
For the last 2 years, I have said time and time again that if there is breath in my lungs, CM Punk will not be a world champion in this company.
Seth also says when this began, it was to be an all-out assault on all gold, including that title. As they stare down, CM Punk arrives.
You're the WWE champion right now, and he should be. If it weren't for Rollins, he may be.
Then we see Gunther get pushed down by Punk.
Whoa.
That would have never happened to IC champion Goon, I'm just saying.
It's LA Knight, turn around, Seth! LA Knight!
Then Knight and Rollins brawl amidst the fans as Rollins splashes Knight and hightails it out of there. Oh, please, I'm begging you, please have LA Knight win the briefcase from Seth, please.
He's cooking here.
Then, in the Judgment Day clubhouse, Raquel is hesitant over how fast everyone is replacing Liv. She stresses that Liv has been rehabbing, so she'll be back soon. Finn says, I had a shoulder injury once and I know these injuries. She's gonna be out for a while. They then vote on Roxanne joining the Judgment Day as Finn and JD say yes.
I gotta talk to Liv.
No. Make the decision yourself. Make Liv proud.
Alleged yes.
You better hold up your end of the deal, Chiquita.
Well, I guess it's official. Roxanne, let's cheers our titles to the newest member of the Judgment Day. Welcome.
Something tells me Roxanne will prove herself in that Evolution tag match and she's gonna slowly start to grow on Dominic Mysterio. Next, we saw a reintroductory vignette for Kairi Sane who says the Pirate Princess is back. Then, it was time for Bayley versus Lyra, which rightfully so ended in a double pin.
Nice. Jackknife cover. And a hoop.
As both women brawled into the crowd and split up like it was the end of a Universe Mode cutscene.
Lyra and Bayley finally separated. And again, I mentioned it before, Corey.
Yo, Pierce, hit me with that triple threat. We then found out it'll be LA Knight versus Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. No briefcase on the line. No briefcase on the line.
I don't know what you're coming in here all hot like I did something to you for. If you want Seth, you can have him 6 days a week as far as I'm concerned. But when you talk about the back of the line, Saturday night's main event was just announced. And it's me, it's Seth Rollins. So what that means is I am the line. Yeah.
Then we found out before the main event that Seth Rollins is already off on a jet, where Paul Heyman says he's perfecting Plan B.
Where's the visionary? The visionary is already on a jet right now, perfecting Plan
What's plan B?
If there's one thing I've learned, there's always a plan B. The question is, what or who? And if I had to hazard a guess, I would assume that plan B is a new member of the faction. I know there's a very certain part of the community that would love for it to be Austin Theory, and honestly, I wouldn't say no. And I still wouldn't mind Kiana James being in this faction. I wouldn't mind a woman being in this faction, because God knows Kiana James needs it, or else she's gonna do nothing, and then they're going to release her. That's just going to happen. And look here, you've also got, maybe if you want, Tyra May Steele. She has all the credentials, and really, you put a mouthpiece with her, someone like Rollins and Heyman around her, she could be a demon. We all know that Tyra May Steele can wrestle. She's an Olympic gold medalist, but her character needs some forming. Imagine they just go ahead and say, be in the faction. I don't know. It's not as if she wouldn't be instantly credible, so you never know. But let me know in the comments below. What do you think plan B is going to be, considering last time Rollins was the plan B and now he's the one creating it? Braun Breaker says the plan is for me to smash anyone in my way. The main event told the story of Sammy's injury at the hands of Karrion Kross earlier in the night, as we saw Bronson Reed going for tsunamis, Braun Breaker getting physical, then getting his head booted off. Sammy also struggled to suplex the larger man in Bronson Reed, but eventually, with the help of Penta, pulled off the incredible feat.
Penta hanging Reed up. You kidding me? Suplex! That's 330 plus pounds!
Ultimately, though, the dogs were barking.
Breaker and breaking out. I think Penta's
Breaker would hit another spear on Penta, which led to Jey Uso entering and evening the odds against the faction.
Steel chair in hand. Down goes Breaker. Jey Uso knocking Breaker and Rhea